Welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jay Kleinknecht here, along with head coach Scott Langer. Coach, of course, Wings were off this week, but a lot of Wings alumni in action over the weekend. Carson Dimmoff got his first collegiate goal. Kevin Fitzgerald scored twice for St. Cloud. Nathan Burke got his first and second career collegiate goal for the U of M. Zach Noble got his first collegiate point a few weeks back, and same for Jack Kelly. Carter Root, Colin Raver, many others that I'm missing can be added to the list. And we've talked before about how important player advancement is to you and this staff, this team. But this isn't new for you. You know, throughout your illustrious career, you've moved a lot of young men on to college and even on to bigger and better things. And I was curious if it still has the same impact when you hear about the guys, having the success that they're having as it did maybe earlier on in your career. Does it still mean as much?
Oh yeah, 100%. It's you spend that time with them, you watch how hard they work and what they sacrifice just to try to get to that level, and it takes a lot of work, especially putting up with the coach's crap all the time. But you watch those guys, they're on to you as junior hockey players, and then they move on, and it's funny, you get to watch some of that stuff and see things that surface that you were able to be a part of back in their development. So but yeah, I mean, it's I'm still following all the scores every weekend, see how the guys are doing, and it's a great part of that's one of the big things about junior hockey and being part of junior hockey is you have your current team that you're developing, you're working with, and your family with, but the guys that move on and they're still your family, and you get to follow their careers, and most of them they still reach out, and with the good and the bad, and it's a great part of the job,
without a doubt. And certainly our utmost congratulations to those fine young men who have moved on and are, again, working. The hard work is paying off. You talked about it, Coach, about junior hockey as a whole and how guys come here often to extend their careers or use it as a stepping stone to get into the college level. Some guys go straight to high school, straight from high school, I should say, into the college ranks. What's the difference, and what makes junior hockey so important for the development of certainly of some players, but if not all?
Well, it's the maturity. It's very unique. The game of hockey has the level of juniors because, you look at baseball. Most of those players are right out of high school, right to college, and pretty much. I mean, you look at football. So every sport's pretty much the same. They don't have that. That next level that allows the player in their prime development years to actually develop as a person and become a better individual. Live on your own. A lot of players in other sports that go right from high school, they don't know how to live on their own. They're going right into the college ranks, which is a high level of any sport. Where in junior hockey, they're learning how to live on their own and manage themselves. They're also learning to they have to do things on a daily basis that, when you come right out of high school, you really don't have to do when you have your parents taking care of you. And all of a sudden now in junior hockey, you have to really fend for yourself. So, and then you talk about hockey itself. These guys are, a lot of players going into college are 20 years old now, 21 years old. And they're men amongst boys. And you look at what that's done in the NHL. That's no secret. College hockey keeps putting out all those numbers about the amount of players that are playing in the National Hockey League right now. And so when they put the junior level in the place, they really look to the future. And the game of college hockey is just tremendous. And that's why you see so many players getting drafted and playing in the NHL.
Yeah. Well, and it's an interesting point, one that I hadn't actually thought of about the learning how to live. You hear about guys who come straight out of high school, say they're a basketball player, and they're in the dorm or whatever, getting in trouble or running into different things. Not that it never happens in the hockey world, but it does give that added bonus of life skills, and that's something I guess I hadn't really occurred to me. What advice would you have to, say, a 13, 14, 15-year-old that's maybe playing Bantams and is interested in juniors? How did they take that next step?
Well, I mean, it's. I think the big thing nowadays is be a multi-sport athlete, and a lot of people don't want to hear that, but I really think that helps your growth overall as a hockey player. Because once you get into, say, junior hockey, it's all hockey.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you do. It's 24 hours hockey. So, I guess you also have to look at where you're playing and where how you're developing. It's very important that you're working on your skills, your individual skills, your team skills, and where you're going to get that best development. And a lot of kids have to make a tough decision, and they got to move away from home, which is not always the easiest. And they have to go to a place where that meets their level of play, and it's a sacrifice. Yeah. Hockey's a very unique sport. It's not like baseball where you can find a baseball field anywhere. You got to kind of go where you're going to get the development, and if that's home, awesome. If it's somewhere else, awesome. But I would say that have fun in the game. Mm-hmm. The game's got to be fun. It's just not a job. It's not a job at our level. It's fun. And I think if you love to play the game and you love to be on the ice, things will take care of themselves.
Excellent advice. Okay. We talked, of course, about the collegiate goals and so on for Nathan Burke and for Carson Dimhoff, and all of this really kind of comes on the heels of Brad Belisle signing his national letter of intent to Bemidji. Last week we had some players on, kind of a funny thing about vocabulary, hockey vocabulary. I was going to try to get some definition from you too, and a more technical side of things about the national letter of intent, for example. What is the difference between it being committed? You hear guys are committed here or there, but then it's a different thing altogether to sign the national letter of intent.
Well, everybody is verbally committed. You look at some of these schools that are signing kids at the age of 14 right now. Right. It's all verbal until that national letter of intent is signed. Then it's on paper, and that's as good as a contract. There's a lot of hoops to get out of it. Mm-hmm. If you decide that you're going to sign that letter of intent and then try to get out of it, it's pretty difficult to do. And but everybody is. You talk about commitments. It's a commitment from the school and a commitment from the player, and it's all verbal until that national letter of intent is signed.
Okay, good to know. And again, congratulations to Brad Belisle. Another thing that I get asked a lot, actually, and I just thought maybe some fans would get a kick, or not a kick, but like to hear it straight from your mouth. What exactly does the protected list do? And what is it? Is it protected from other teams picking up a player? And then also, if a player is on it or isn't on it, are they able to play, eligible to play? How does that all work?
Yeah, once you're protected by a team that's in U.S. junior hockey, you're protected by that team, and other leagues within the USA Hockey realm and teams in your league can't have access to that player. Players that are coming in that currently are not on the protected list, you have to add them to your 23-man protected list in order for them to play in a USA Hockey sanctioned game. So it's basically in place, so it's not a free-for-all, and teams don't have 30 guys, 40 guys sitting in camp and trying to utilize all those guys, and it allows for players to other teams, because if you have one team that's really, really strong and it's a tremendous place to play, you may see, 30-something guys there, as opposed to it being divided and other teams having the ability to have good players as well. So, the protected list is, if you're going to play, you're going to be on the list.
Very important. Okay. All right, Coach. Well, back to action this week. What's this past week looked like for the Aberdeen Wings? I know last Monday when we talked, you talked maybe even having a kind of a mini camp or doing some things a little differently. What did it all entail?
It entailed a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
These guys worked extremely hard throughout last week and into today. It's just back to basics and doing things the right way and being accountable for when you're not doing them the right way. And when you're having some success, and at that point we only had 2 losses. Sometimes things get away from you a little bit, and I think that's kind of where we were. And our whole thing was we're going to work when you're not. And we were up early. We were working as a team. We had a lot of fun doing it, and we're hoping that reflects on the ice come Wednesday.
Okay. Well, like you said, Brookings comes to town on Wednesday. A team that brought in a defenseman that made a difference early in his first game, in fact, with the Blizzard. They just beat the number 1 team in the division 7-2 Friday and played them tough to a loss 5-4 on Saturday. Likely feeling the most confident that they probably have since the beginning of the season. What do you expect to see out of the Blizzard?
They've been scoring goals now for a few weeks. They've been scoring a lot of goals. We can't play like we did against Bismarck. We have to be a little more structured, and we have to be smarter about our puck decisions and our puck management. But again, I'm going to tell you this every week. It's about what we do.
Yeah.
And we're a good hockey team. If we do things the right way and do it the way we should be doing it, we're going to be okay. We're going to be in the game and have an opportunity to win the game. So, yeah, they're playing well. They got confidence. They made a change. Might have brought some fresh blood into there. And when you're scoring goals, you become a more confident team. And I watched both their games, and I thought that they looked really good. But again, we got a hot team coming in, and it's just it's going to make us better. It's going to make us smarter, because you don't want to run away with any game and then have to go in and play the top team in the 2 days later in Minot, who's playing really good hockey. And the bottom line is we're in the Central Division, and there's very few points that separate us from fifth place. And at any given time, you can't fall asleep on any opponent in this division, and it's got to be our best game.
Right. Okay. Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking some time. I won't keep any here any longer. But again, appreciate you coming on the show. Best of luck on Wednesday against the Blizzard. And we'll be back with the second portion of Wings Weekly coming up after this. And again, Coach, thanks.
Let's make a taco. No, seriously. Start with a tortilla, soft tortilla. Warm it, kiss it. Don't kiss it. Chicken? How about tequila lime chicken? Now we're cooking. Slice this, peel that, snip those. Salsa? Verde. Cheese? Cotija. Oh, forgot to mention guac. That's better. See, anyone can make a taco, but we're not anyone. We're Qdoba, and these are knockout tacos. Qdoba Mexican Eats. Choose flavor.
Welcome back to Wings Weekly. Jay Kleinknecht here, and as promised, folks, a couple of players joining me once again. And this time we have Tim Mikowski of Baldwin, Missouri, and Jake Benet of Livonia, Michigan. So, guys, thanks for taking some time out of your day to join us here on Wings Weekly.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right. Well, I wanted to start with the standard questions that I always kind of start things out with, and that is, what's your home life like? Talk about a little bit about your, where you're from, your family. If you have any brothers and sisters maybe that are playing sports or whatever, just kind of give us a little basic information about your family. Tim, you want to start?
Yep, I got two brothers, one sister. So the two brothers both play hockey. So that's kind of how I got into it. And then my sister is actually a nurse right now in Denver, Colorado.
Right on.
So she's a travel nurse. And then that's pretty much it, I guess.
You're a little bit different in the sense, though, because your brother actually played in the NAL too, or at least one of them. Or did they both?
Yeah, they actually both did.
Give them the mic back there.
No, they actually both did. My next oldest brother, Jeff, he played in Topeka in the South Division. He actually played for Langer for a little bit. And then my oldest brother played for the St. Louis Bandits back when they were a team. They folded a couple years after he left that team.
So you kind of come into this with a little bit of a little insight. So so that's kind of, you would think, be a little bit of a benefit.
Yeah. No, it's pretty cool seeing how they did it, and watching their games. It was always pretty cool, and kind of gave me a goal to try and accomplish, and now I'm here.
Right on. Jake?
Yeah, so I come from a family of 6. I got 2 brothers. One plays hockey, still in high school. The other one, he's still going to school and working right now. And my sister, she just graduated from University of Michigan dental hygiene, so she's starting her life right now, and that's about it.
Awesome. All right, guys. It's kind of a strange week without having a game at all on the weekend. And I talked to Coach Langer a little bit about how you guys mix it up and stuff. Does it feel strange to you to have, you get into such a routine, I would imagine, over the course of the season of being prepared for games and how you go through your weekly regimen. How hard was it to kind of adapt, I guess, and keep yourself busy and getting ready?
I guess it was a little different because we've been used to practicing every day, and having a weekend off was different, Mm-hmm. We had to find some stuff to do and a lot of rest, but
rest. Good.
I'm glad to be back at it. So
right on. Tim, what was your week like? Especially you're a vet, so this last year there were no weekends off.
Mm-hmm.
So is it probably a little bit kind of a little different for you too, huh?
Yeah, no, it's nice having a weekend off. 60 games is a long regular season, mm-hmm. So guys are getting beat up, they're getting sick, whatever. So it was nice to take advantage of the weekend off and, get good sleep and get well rested. And, hopefully we'll get back at it soon on Wednesday and, use that to our advantage.
Well, and that's one thing that's different with junior hockey too. Obviously, much longer season than in high school and stuff. So, rest and taking care of your body is a really important aspect. So again, getting that weekend off and getting that sleep and everything's good stuff. Okay, you guys are both defensemen. What makes a good defenseman? And that's different than what makes a defenseman good. I mean, I suppose it's kind of the same, but like what attributes do you think a defenseman has, whereas maybe a forward might have a different mindset?
It's tough to say. As a defenseman, you just want to be. You got to be. You're the backbone of your team, so you just got to be. They always say the defensemen that you don't notice are doing their job correctly. So you got to make just no mistakes, make simple plays. You just got to be smart. You're kind of like the QB. Whenever you're transitioning and all that puck and breaking out the puck, you got to make a good first pass, and you're breaking out the puck for the forward. So, and then defend well.
Yeah.
Keep the puck out of your net. That's your main job, and then contribute as much as you can offensively.
Okay, Jake, what do you think? Do you need to be kind of a little bit more patient as a defenseman, maybe? Are there, different kind of like personality traits that actually make, for the mentality, I guess, for a good defenseman?
No, I agree with Timmy. You got to keep things simple, and the offense will come. So make sure you stay back and play defense first. But I definitely think you need to know where you're gonna go with the puck before you even get it. So. Yeah. It's a huge thing.
Okay. How about at what point in your hockey career did you decide, this is where I feel comfortable, this is where I want to be on the blue line?
Honestly, when I started playing high school, I started to feel like that.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Tim, how about you?
I started out as a defenseman just because my oldest brother was a defenseman, so kind of looked after him. So I was a defenseman, and then, when you're so young, you're not ripping pucks and all that. So, I was on the blue line, and I'd be out there in the offensive zone, just sitting on the blue line. I'd never touch the puck because, you're so young. You can't rifle pucks up there as easily as you can now. So I bumped up to forward. I played a couple years at forward, and then finally, moved back to D, and I knew that was my spot, and I really loved that position. So kind of fell back in line with that.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Now, both of you guys in the fairly recent past have both been in a fight. So I got to bring this up because Timmy, you and Leach went after it there with Brookings, the home opener, in fact, and Jake just over a week ago, so pretty recent. I wanted to ask you, what goes through your head when you square off on a guy? I mean, are you thinking punch, punch, punch? Are you thinking block? Are you thinking a pull, grab? What's going through your head? Or is it just like an absolute free for all where you're just throwing hands?
Yeah, no. So I've been in a couple. I was in one fight last year, and then I was in two fights, and I had a main camp in the previous summers, and so all my other fights I've been always kind of, as long you got to get a good hold on the guy, and then you're kind of just throwing before he can throw, and you're just trying to throw through the guy's face. And
good way to put it.
Yeah. So and then this last fight, I took a different strategy, which I don't think really worked out as well for me, but I broke my finger last year, my middle finger on my fighting hand, my punching hand. So I wasn't going into the fight thinking I'm going to throw 30 punches and 15 are going to hit a helmet and 15 will, or whatever, X amount will hit his helmet and the other half will hit his face. I was kind of waiting him out and kind of hoping until he got tired, and then I was going to start throwing, and I was trying to go for accuracy there. I wasn't going to try and hurt my hand again on hitting on a hard helmet.
A little more strategic.
I played that way and didn't work out the best, but that's the way I went with it this year.
Jake, you again just recently here, and again I'm biased, but I thought you pretty much had your man taken care of until you stepped back on a stick there. But
yeah, I agree with that. But that was my first ever fight, so it was different for me. So I like it though, but hand's still a little cut up, and I don't know.
Did you have like in your mind as it was happening, were you thinking do this, do that, or was it just all like kind of animal instinct?
I don't know what I was thinking because my adrenaline was going.
Yeah.
I forgot most of it, but as I look at the video, it looked like I had him until I fell. So.
Right on. All right. Well, that leads me to this next question. Who on this team, in any one of these locker rooms, would you least want to fight? If they were on another team, for example. Obviously, you're not going to be fighting your own guy in the locker room or something, but who here is someone that you'd be like, yeah, I think I'll pass? Or maybe there's not anybody.
I would have to say Brad Bilal, kid's an animal.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to mess with him. So
Trying to think. Sladek and Weigel are pretty soft, so those two guys I definitely want to fight.
Have you ever noticed that they get picked on all the time, every show?
I'm trying to think. I'd probably go with Belial too, just because I know he's got his handful of experience, so he's probably fought the most, is my guess, and he's a pretty built kid, so he's not afraid, so I'd probably pick him.
Salty vet, right on. Okay. Well, Tim, you bounced around a little bit. The beginning of the season here with in the USHL, and had some success over there. But then you come back over to the Wings, and I wanted to kind of go through that process, that transition. And I mean, obviously, there's got to be a little bit of a disappointment that you're going to coming back to Tier 2, but by the same token, maybe a little bit of relief because you know this team, you know this coaching staff, you know the people, you know this town. How did that all play out?
Yeah, no, so at the beginning of the year, I was there for a month or two, I think, and found out I was coming back to Aberdeen. And like you said, it's, anytime a job doesn't work out or, for me, obviously, a hockey team doesn't work out or anything, there's always disappointment that comes with that. But, having a home like Aberdeen to come back to, it was easy, an easy option for me. It was, I love this place, and I think the easiest thing that made it, quick decision for me is, the teammates here. And, I love every one of these guys, and even the new guys that when I first got here, I didn't know any of them, but, it wasn't hard to become friends with them pretty quickly. And, I'm excited to be back. It's an awesome place to play here.
Right on. Well, you jumped right in. I mean, you literally get on the bus, 7 a.m. I think it was, and we had to Cloquet, and you play that night. And honestly, you looked like a different player to me. I just thought you played with confidence and swagger, and I was thinking to myself at the time, even, I'm like, is that coming from the time in the U show, or was it off-season work, or is it just like knowing that you're no longer a rookie, or what do you think it was that made you step onto the ice there in Cloquet and just have that confidence?
Yeah, no, I think confidence has everything to do with how people play. I've been told that from other people, and you look at all the top players, and my brothers, and players on our team, NHL players. You look at the top guys, and they always have something about them that they just know that they're the man, and they're gonna get the job done. Right. And so, having a really good off season, I worked harder than I ever have this summer, and I think that always gives you confidence, knowing that I'm gonna be good because I worked hard for it, and whenever you prepare, you're gonna do well. And then obviously coming from the USHL, that probably gave me a little boost of confidence too, is knowing, hey, I played there, I played well, so I'm excited to be a leader on this team. So it kind of definitely helped.
Great answer. Jake, different kind of transition for you, but similar in that you're coming to an environment of a place you've never been. You don't know, what kind of a strange environment that you're headed into, and having not had really that experience, where Tim, of course, does have, knows what he's getting into. That's a different feeling altogether too. Leaving home and being like, I'm taking this step, but what am I stepping into? That's kind of tough.
Yeah, it's definitely different for me. I've always lived at home. Being away from home was a lot different, but I really like it so far. It's been really fun, and it's like a second home to me. So.
Well, and Coach Langer was just actually kind of talking to him when he and I were discussing the differences of the other sports and how they don't have a junior program. Like, you go straight from high school into the collegiate level. And he was saying that one of the things about juniors is that you learn to live on your own, away from you're from family and stuff, and that's part of what makes you an adult and getting ready for collegiate levels and on you're on into your hockey career. So I think that's kind of interesting. But it's interesting also, on the other hand, to think about, like, rookies when they come over for the first time, like you, and you know, hockey is hockey. You know the game, but coming into a flat environment like Aberdeen and a, you know, smaller community, more isolated. There's all kinds of things that I'm always interested to hear how you guys adapt, I guess. All right, now on to some fun questions, or at least I think they're kind of fun. Would you rather be 4'5" or 7'7"? I mean, thinking about all the problems that you're going to have, whether it's walking through doorways or getting in and out of cars, if you're 7'7" or 4'5", can't reach the top shelf. They both come with problems. Well, what would you prefer?
I don't know. I've always been tall, so might try out being short for once. You know.
Yeah, you guys both are, you know, not exactly lacking in the height category. So, how about you, Timmy?
I'd actually be the opposite. I'd probably pick 7'7" just because you're easy to market. You know, who doesn't want a 7'7" foot defenseman on the back end? So
I guess I never thought of it from the hockey perspective.
So I was, you know, my mind instantly goes the hockey perspective of it. So, you know, I'd go 7'7", but.
Okay. So how about, again, it doesn't have to be about hockey. It can be just about life, whatever, later on or whatever, too. How about, would you rather be super strong or super fast? Like lifting cars or running as fast as a car?
That's a tough one. I'd probably choose super fast just because.
Because it'd be different from what you are now?
No, I don't know. I think it'd be just fun, you know, wheeling around and no one being able to touch you out there. So I think that'd be pretty cool, and give that a try, I guess.
Right on.
I would probably say super strong. You know, show off your biceps. Why not? So.
All right. Well, actually, that leads into my next question. Would you rather look strong and be weak, or look weak and be strong?
I don't know, that's a hard one.
That is kind of a tough one.
Probably look big, not as strong, but
there you go. Timmy?
I do the opposite again. I'd look small and be strong though, just because
people underestimate you and stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to be underestimated, and I'm a fan of the underdog. So somebody tries, you know, picking on you or trying to take an advantage of you because they don't think you're much, and then showing them what's up would be pretty sweet. So
okay, on to my next one. If you had to give something up for 30 days, 30 days without a car or any vehicle, any transportation, or 30 days without internet of any kind, and that includes gaming.
I'd say car, no doubt. Aberdeen makes it easy to make that decision just because I think my farthest drive is 8 minutes to the rink or so, and I could, you know, everybody lives pretty close to me, so I could find a ride pretty easily. But no gaming, no texting, catching up with parents and friends, that'd be kind of tough for a month straight.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I agree with Timmy on this one. You know, having your phone, your Xbox, TV, it's part of life. But your car is also. But living in Aberdeen, I would say no car. So
right on. Okay. All right, back to reality, or the reality of what's coming up. Brookings, Wednesday. You know, as I talked with Coach about, this team's playing well. They just beat Minot 7-2 on Friday. Played them tough on Saturday. The final was 5-4, but again, they're scoring goals. They're gaining confidence. Are you guys ready for that? Ready for them to come in and step in to the ODI Center on Wednesday?
Yeah, I think we're definitely ready. Today we had a great practice, you know, and tomorrow we're gonna have an even better one. So, and we had a weekend off, so we're gonna be even stronger. We have a lot of rest and
fresh, right?
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah, no, I think we're ready for it. You know, we had all last week to prepare, and you know, we had 5 hard practices last week and make up for not having games. But then we took advantage of the off weekend, and then I think we're, you know, our minds are in the right mindset. And Monday, Tuesday, we'll be ready to get at them Wednesday. And you know, they're a good team. We knew they were always going to be a good team. They just, you know, maybe had to make a few moves and you know, just get things a little dialed a certain way. But they're going to be a good team.
Okay. Good to know. Folks, we'll go through the specifics of that game here coming up in just a moment. But My final question, and I always close out the show with follow us at AberdeenWings.com, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, or Instagram. What is your go-to social media? What's I know in today's day and age, everybody's got Instagram and everybody's got Snapchat, everybody's got Twitter, whatever. What's your favorite? What's the one you use the most?
I'd say probably Snapchat. I use Instagram and Snapchat the most, but I'd say Snapchat just because I'm on that every day, and it's an easy way to talk to buddies that
Sure.
you don't see when they're in college and all that, and it's a lot easier than texting them and asking how they're doing. You can see what they're doing and what they're up to. So
Right on.
I'd say that.
Yeah, I say Snapchat too. It's nice catching up with your buddies back home, snapping them every day, see how their life's going. So
There you go.
that's
All
what I
right.
would say.
Well, again, folks, we'll get to that in just a moment. But Wednesday, November 21st versus the Brookings Blizzard, it is Educator Appreciation Game. So teacher appreciation, show proof that you work at a school and receive $2 off admission at the door. Stutzman Harley-Davidson Party Porch tickets are available by calling Aaron at 605-380-5852. Doors open for all Wings home games at 5:30 and the puck always drops at 7:15. $10 general admission tickets are on sale now at any of the 4 Sea Express locations in Aberdeen with additional purchase. Friday and Saturday, November 23rd and 24th, the Wings are at Minot. Puck drop is scheduled for 7:35 both nights. Watch the games on Buffalo Wings and Rings in Aberdeen or on hockeytv.com. Listen to 94.1 The Rock, hubcityradio.com, or the Rock app on your phone or cellular device. For all the latest news and information, visit aberdeenwings.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and on Instagram. That will pretty much wrap up this show. I want to thank you guys for coming on. Once again, Jake Benet and Tim Mikowski, again, taking some time to visit with us a little bit here on Wings Weekly.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, folks, that'll pretty much wrap up this week's Wings Weekly.